everyone, I'm Chapple. I upload business videos and finance videos pretty much every day. If you want to see those, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get started. So today we're talking about 4 ways for you to have more money. There's 4 different areas of your life that you can target in order for you to have more money and to gain wealth over time. Now, full disclosure, I have a Wealth Accelerator program. You can check out, link in the description below. But let's get started here. We're going to go to income. So income is the very first thing. This is the most basic one I'm going to talk about here. So the first thing you can do is tackle your income. A lot of you out there have an income problem. I did. I wanted to get into real estate investing in university, but I always had this thought of, right out of university, I'm only going to be able to make $40,000 a year, so maybe I can buy a property 5 or 10 years after university, after I save up some money and build a credit. I had to think differently. You guys have to do that as well. You have to tackle your income problem. And there's lots of ways that you can tackle that. So there's lots of things you can do for most of you. Get a raise. Just ask for one. It never hurts to ask. Even if it's $1,000 or $2,000 a year, ask your boss for a raise if you're an employee. I know most of you are employees out there. So number 2 thing you can do to tackle this, a side job. So maybe this is like I've mentioned this a ton lately, a commission-based sales job on the side. You can go, there's tons of companies out there that want commission salesmen out there because it doesn't hurt the company. They don't have payroll unless you sell something. Go up to a telecommunication company. They love doing this, where they will pay you a certain commission if you can get someone to sign up for their phone program, their TV program, their cable program, whatever. So get a side job of some sort, even if it's delivering pizzas on the side. It doesn't have to be a commission. Like maybe you work full day, all day at an office, 9 to 5, and then from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you can deliver pizzas. Or you can work at some part-time job. That's a way to tackle your income problem. Now we're going to keep moving here. We're going to do start a business. This is one not a lot of people like to do because it is stressful. People don't have the tolerance for risk, which I've talked about. Start a business. That's what I did. That tackled my income problem pretty well. I mean, I was locked in my mind to making $40,000 a year, and then I started a bunch of side businesses, and look, bam, 6 figures, right? So maybe you guys can do that too. Start a side business, although make sure, if you're an employee at a company, sometimes you aren't legally allowed to do a side business if you work for that company. Sometimes there's non-compete clauses, things along those lines. So just make sure that's not in your contract. Ask your boss for your contract so you can read it over so that you're legally allowed to start a side business while you're employed. But starting a business, that can have the highest income potential out of everything I talk about. So it might be worth it to you. Start a business, whether it's online, whether it's you're consulting, whether you're teaching people, whether you're tutoring people, just make some money on the side. Now we're going to go to, so an important thing to raise your income if you want to build a business online is social media. I mean, why do you guys think I make videos like this? Why? Because it's fun? I mean, yeah, it is actually lots of fun. I love talking about business every day, but it's mainly like I make money from this and I help other people. It's 3 great things here. I love it, I get to help people, and I make money. I mean, my passive income on YouTube, I don't have that big of a following, but from my AdSense alone, it's like $2,000 right now a month. It's probably going to be more. It's growing every single month. So think about it. Maybe you guys want to get onto social media, build a YouTube channel, build a Facebook following, build up a Twitter following, Instagram, although Twitter's dying. So sad, because I love Twitter. Anyways, social media, you're going to want to get on there if you want to increase your income and start a side business. And I've already talked about this. So maybe instead of getting a side job, get a no-cap job. No-cap job. Get a job where your earning potential is unlimited, whether it's being a part owner in a company, whether it's you're earning royalties, whether you're selling stuff online, whether you're an affiliate marketer, whether you start a business. Get a job with no cap. It's risky. You have to have good risk tolerance, but if you have no cap, it can grow your income. So that is the first quadrant that I wanted to talk about, that you can tackle in your life. We're going to move on to the second quadrant that you can tackle to have more money available. We're going to move on to expenses. That's the second quadrant. This is the number 2 thing you can do to have more money available to you. Or actually, it might be number 3. We're going to get to that, but it might be number 2 for a lot of people. So expenses, you're going to want to minimize these, obviously, so we won't get into that right now, but just minimize all your expenses. That's really basic. I don't want to talk about that. Just minimize those. You're going to want to save on taxes if you can. Taxes are the biggest expense you'll ever have in your life if you work. You will have no other expense even close to as big as taxes. Tony Robbins says that the best investment you can make, even though he talks about stocks a lot, it's not stocks, it's saving on taxes. Well, think about this actually. Think about this. I've talked about how compound interest, if you earn at a rate of 5% versus 7% over the course of 5 decades, that's the difference between you being a millionaire and having $500,000 in your investment portfolio. 2%. Okay? What if you can do that on taxes? If you can save 10% on taxes, which is reasonable, I mean, that could be the difference between you being a millionaire and having only 50 grand by the end of your life. So find a way to save on taxes. Get a good tax person. My dad always says, like, look, you might have to pay your tax guy $500, but if you earn a lot of money, he could save you $10,000 in taxes. Although for most people, it'll be only a few $1,000s. So get a good tax person, find a way you can save on taxes. Now we're going to move on to housing. Try to keep this cost low. A lot of people over leverage themselves with housing, buy too much house. You're going to want to limit your housing expenses. So that can also be stuff like utilities. Utilities and food. And transportation. And these are some of the biggest expenses. We've talked about tax. We've talked about housing, utilities, food, and transportation. Those are your main expenses. So you're going to want to cut these down. Don't go out all transportation. Did I spell that right? Transportation? I think so. But same thing with housing, same thing with cars. Don't buy too much house. Don't buy too much car. You're going to get in trouble if you do that. If you have a $40,000 a year income, don't get a $30,000 car. Even if it's no money down, just don't buy it. Don't buy it. And it's same with food. Don't eat out all the time. Cut down on those expenses. Utilities. Maybe don't leave the lights on all the time. Don't have your heat and air conditioning on all day. Maybe get a programmable thermostat so that your house heating and air conditioning shuts off from the hours of 10 to 4 and turns on so that when you come home and when you leave, it's on. And it's the proper temperature. So we're going to move on here to the third quadrant, which is debt. So you're going to want to limit this. Limit bad debt. Limit bad debt and utilize good debt. Good debt. So limit bad debt. For me, bad debt is student loans. It is credit cards, unpaid credit cards. So I guess you should want to pay these on time. I should mention that. Always pay on time. Pay on time and get good interest rates. Good interest rates. So limit bad debts. So yeah, I mentioned student loans, credit cards, payday loans, auto loans. Just avoid those at all costs. They generally don't do much for you. I would consider mortgage to be neutral. If it is your primary residence, a mortgage is a neutral investment in my mind. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. But you're going to want to utilize good debt instead. So here's what good debt is. It is sometimes it's good. Student loans are good. If you're going in for an engineering degree or something like that, it's good. Go get a student loan. That's a good investment. But there's other things like stocks. You can use debt to invest in stocks. It's risky, but it might work out in the long run. I don't recommend it if you're a beginner. Real estate, that's the best way to use debt you'll ever have in your life. If you use debt to invest in real estate, you get so many tax advantages and you get ahead by having someone else pay off the mortgage for you. You're gaining equity, you're getting tax breaks, and you get cash flow. So utilize good debt as much as possible. Always pay your debt on time. And that is how people get caught in the debt trap. If you don't pay on time once, so I've seen these examples with payday loans about how someone will take out a $500 payday loan, but because they can't pay it back on time, once they get caught up in a trap where they'll pay down $2,500 for only borrowing $500. I don't want you to get in that debt trap. So avoid that at all costs, and get good interest rates. So compare, when I say go get a mortgage, I always tell people to go compare rates at different banks, at different different lenders. Because the bank that you've always been going to, they might offer you 4% because they know that you're a customer that wants to use them. But meanwhile, I don't know, North Blue Mortgage or whatever, True North Mortgage, they might offer you 3%, which is good. That can save you a lot, maybe $100 a month, maybe $50 a month, maybe $30 a month. And that adds up. So get good interest rates on your loan. Now, we are going to move on to the last one here, which is similar to investing. Similar to the investment part. It is investments. We were just talking about using debt for investments. You don't need to. However, one of the best ways for you to have money, make more money, is to invest. So invest ideally 10 to 20% of your income. And a good way that you can do this is just simply take it out. You can it's better to even go into a 401k. I hate 401ks, but it's even better to have that deducted from your paycheck right away to invest in a 401k than it is for you to spend it on a purse, which usually what girls do, or clothes, right? So I just 10 to 20% of your paycheck, invest it. Invest it, and in decades you'll be rich. And we're going to move on to, so you can invest in anything. You can invest in stocks, RE for real estate. You can invest in your business. You can invest in your business, which can be the best, which can have the best return on investment in business. Or you can go into your 401k, pension, whatever. But the highest return on investment I ever had in my life was business. For every $1,000 I put in, it's returned several $1,000s back. Sometimes it's been $10,000 back. It all depends. So if you have a side business, you might want to invest in it. And by investing, I mean advertising, branding, getting employees to do more work, whatever. Invest in your business. It's something key that you can do. And the last thing is reinvest. So after you've invested that money and made some money, reinvest back and keep going. It's the compound interest. That'll be the difference between you being very wealthy and just being comfortable, is if you reinvest all the money you make on your initial investment. It's what every single great investor has done since the beginning of time. You invest and then you reinvest. So you can start out with $100, and if you make $10 on that, you reinvest that back in. So now you have $110, and then you make $15 from that, and then reinvest that, and then you have $125. And then maybe over the course of many, many years, you have 10 grand on a $100 investment. That's a lot, probably like 5 grand or 2 grand. You see what I'm saying though? So I think that's gonna wrap this video up. What do you guys think? These are the 4 areas that you can attack for you to have more money. And which one is easiest for you to attack right now? I think that the easiest one to attack is expenses, because you can always just stop spending. The one that's most beneficial is income, I think. It depends on who you are. And it could be debt though. A lot of people watching this could be in a debt trap. It's good to pay those down. Paying those down, that's a good investment, because all of a sudden now, instead of having to pay $200 a month or $400 a month for student loans, if you pay that all off right now, that's an extra $400 a month. And you can use that to invest if you want to. So I don't know, which one's easiest for you? I think that the best one's income, but easiest is probably not income. In fact, income could be probably the hardest to do. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Remember to check out my Wealth Accelerator program. The link is in the description below. It teaches you how to run a side business, what you need to do, all the stuff you need to know, what I did, what I learned through launching a bunch of businesses, through my failures, through my successes. Just go check it out. Links in the description. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next video.